Supreme Court hypocrisy on full display in the mainstream media. Liberals going into overdrive, trying to defend Biden's radical nominee, and absolutely losing their minds anytime somebody has the nerve to question her record as a judge.
Josh Hawley, fist in the air Josh, and slaveholder descendant Tom Cotton reprised their QAnon baiting smears against Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. They were treating her like a black shopper that they were following through the store.
A day of grandstanding and speech-making and hissy-fitting in the Senate today. No Republican has been more hot and bothered than Lindsey Graham of South Carolina.
This is about midterm elections, appealing to culture wars, appealing to a segment of the GOP that is into conspiracy theories.
In particular, Senator Blackburn's line of questioning. Did you see racism in any of that?
All right, Jessica, did you see any racism at the hearing? And can you give me an example?
I saw a lot of stuff that I didn't like. I did not feel like there were racial undertones to it. The argument that has been made about that is that talking down to someone, and you could interpret some of these questions which feel like the gotcha questions, like, could you please define a woman, that's talking down to someone, and then would they be doing that to someone who's a white nominee, I think is the line of argumentation that they would do it. But I did not see that. I saw some stuff I didn't like, and I went back, though, to look at what went on during Amy Coney Barrett's hearings, just to make sure if this really was just a completely one-sided thing with the adulation that's coming for Democrats. And obviously we saw Cory Booker go off for a few minutes, but, filled with joy at the moment. And I myself am excited about it. But we did see Senators Tillis, Grassley, Graham, going on and on. Amy Coney Barrett is a mother. She has 7 children, 2 adopted, 5 biological. Lindsey Graham even actually upped it to 9 children by accident. He's like, well, I'll have 2 more. And then John Cornyn, he was the one who had her hold up her blank page of notes. And he said, isn't it so that was, it's
a nice moment.
Why is that a nice moment?
I mean, when
you think, you thought it was cool
that
she doesn't have to take notes, and that should make you more qualified to be on the Supreme Court. So that's a moment of just straight fawning.
She knows what a woman is. Everyone does this, Janine, right? The Democrats, they're nasty when the Republican nominee comes up, vice versa. This is the way the game's played. The media acts like this is the first hearing we've ever had.
Well, look, I mean, it doesn't take much to say that the way this judge is being questioned is so much more polite than what they did to Amy Coney Barrett, than what they did to Brett Kavanaugh. I mean, it was just a circus. Let's admit it. I mean, everybody said they didn't want it to be like that. And the Republicans, I think, have been kind enough to make sure that it isn't. But you know what? The whole point of the questioning is to get an idea of who this judge is. The judge that refuses to identify her judicial philosophy when other judges do. So we go through the truth-finding process. We've done it for centuries. And the truth-finding process is when you put someone under oath and you ask them questions to try to get at the truth. And that's what we're doing here. So we have this candidate for the highest court in the land we've got to ask her questions. She repeatedly tells us how much she loves America. She loves America. Everybody's like, yay, this is wonderful. She loves America. But then she routinely refers to government officials as war criminals. And it's not just in the caption. It's not just in the caption in a lawsuit, okay? Number one. Number two, she repeatedly tells us that her brother's in law enforcement, and she knows law enforcement. We're like, yay, that's great. But then through cross-examination, we find out that with child pornography, she is down sentencing below the sentencing guidelines. And let me tell you what child pornography is. It's a visual depiction of a minor engaging in sexually explicit conduct. I don't care what her excuse is. Now I got a third one. She can't define what a woman is. She could have said, I'm a woman, or a woman is someone who gives birth or anything, but she doesn't want to be unmasked. We unmasked her in the first 2. Now she doesn't want. Let me finish. Number 4, CRT. Oh, I think it's something they teach in law school. We all know, if you followed any of the news in Virginia, what's going on in this country, and it's not about law school. And she's on the board of a school where they're teaching critical race theory. Now, she has been unmasked differently, and now we found out her philosophy. Does that mean she won't be a justice? She will be, because they got the numbers. But let's not kid each other. If she'd been honest in the beginning, we wouldn't have to go through the truth-finding process. That's all I have to say.
Dana Perino.
So I'll just quickly say something. I'm going to channel Greg Gutfeld for a moment and just talk about the media for a second. Because
good job.
if you go back to Kavanaugh for a second, And do you remember when the media were the biggest drivers of weak rumors that then the media put forward and then they had to walk them back? And all of a sudden, now the shoe's on the other foot with Jackson, and there's all of a sudden no intellectual curiosity about anything that's going on with some of these perpetrators that she sentenced. When Kavanaugh was up, we had profiles of everyone he had gone to school with since preschool. Yeah. And the Washington Post today was like, oh, well, the Republicans have been so much worse. I mean, come on. Where are the profiles of these people, especially the ones who reoffended? Don't you think you'd maybe be curious enough as a journalist? That might be something that you might want to follow up on, but they didn't do it.
No, they didn't. Did they, Greg?
They didn't. They didn't. Excellent point. You know, I saw racism. It was in that media montage. If you can't ask tough questions of a person of color, then basically that's a form of bigotry, right? How, you know, you do, it's such a, not, and I know this sounds like a racial term. You don't, if every time you ask a person of color causes you to be a white knight, that means you don't believe that person of color can answer the question. That's what I see. But again, this is, and I don't want to get Tyrus angry. This is a lot like professional wrestling. We already know the outcome, right? But people, the politicians are still playing their roles. And you're right, they reverse every time. We know what's happening. I think the best win for Republicans is to let the Democrats win, because they are, as the judge says. Hope that your behavior, your polite behavior, might pay a dividend later. Probably won't, but maybe it will. But at this point, all you are is you're feeding that media every time you try to grandstand for a viral moment. That's what, you know, Cory Booker loves to do, right? Did he cry yesterday, I think?
Did he cry?
Yeah, I think so. But there is this weird amnesia, and I can't tell if it's deliberate or it's oblivious, that in order for all of in that montage to adopt that stance, they have to forget everything that has happened in the last 30 to 40 years, you know?
Yes, I do know. And I think it's smart of you. I do. I think it's smart of you not to try to get Tyrus angry.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he would crush you.
He would.
Like
He would.
a grape.
But I would enjoy it.
You sicko. Up next.
He's perfect. He's perfect for now.
Nancy Pelosi has a new midterm message. But who's going to buy that?